What's that? No.
Where will Michael Webster play?
Half back. Yeah. Yeah, Billy Dunne fallen over.
You're just buying a can of Coke after the
He's
Billy
a
Dunne.
relaxed
Got a drink already.
Actually, a few nerves. I need to settle a tummy. Coke will make me burp. So just down to a can of Coke up there.
Yeah.
Ambrose has picked him up.
Yeah, mate. Hey? Yeah. He does. So who's got who? Parsons has got Pearce again.
Umpire Hayden Nielsen gets the 1986 Cascade Bogues League Grand Final underway, and Sandy Bay, who won the toss, immediately into action. McDonald thumped back in by Lockley. Gilham loses it pretty quickly. And the first free kick of the game goes the way of the Magpies. It'll go to Stephen Hay. Player's gone down ground, but the ball will have to come back. So it's the black and whites into attack. Away they go, going to the main grandstand end.
Looking for Gilham. He's got the mark too. Good lead then from Rudy Gilham. But the Magpie crowd love it. Rudy Gilham, 40 metres out. We've got the Sandy Bay opponent Margats right on the 40-metre mark. Gilham goes back. First shot at goal in the 86 grand final. Right on target. The Magpies have drawn first blood in the Cascade Bogues Grand Final of 1986.
Couldn't wish for a better start, Jim. Here we see Steve Hay kick the ball long towards centre half forward, and Colin Margats, who's normally very good in concentration, 2 or 3 metres behind, and Rudy Gilham opens the score.
By Dawson into action for the first time. Hay again with the touch. Missed by Mansfield. McDonald, volleyball with Bennett. Balcom. Open spaces of half forward for Glenorchy. Soon to be filled up by Parsons. Martin cleaning up. One of the most experienced men on the ground. Puts it out on the full. He played in this game in 1978, the last Bay Premiership, when they beat the Magpies. That's the Magpies, though, who have started off best. John Klug. About 45 metres out, that's the task. Nice lead and a beautiful pass for Andy Lovell. Angle a little more acute, made even more so now. Umpire Dawson brings Lovell around. The breeze didn't bring that around as much as I thought it might have, and Andy Lovell. All the scoring with the Magpies, 7 points to the Sandy Bay yet to score.
It's going to be difficult to kick goals in conditions today because the wind is very blustery, Peter.
Margats going straight up the centre. 2 Bay players, Seddon the front man. Getting on with it to centre half forward, Johnson. A good play then from Danny Ling. He ducked his head, said the umpire, good decision. Free kick going the way of the blue and whites. Peter Crow to take it.
I do, the players are edgy out there, Jim.
Very edgy. I suppose they'll be like that, Royce, for the first 5 minutes or so. Here goes McDonald for Sandy Bay. Was going to handball, decided against it. and went for the safety of the boundary line. There's that man, Ambrose McDonald, the tagger today for Bill Dunne. Part of the crowd, just about a capacity crowd here, Pete.
Tap one by Smythe, but straight to Ling. Some sure handling from him so far. But straight to Dermody. He's going to be caught. Just in time to Pritchard. Dolliver wrapped up by 3 black and whites. They're there in numbers. Linton caught quickly, but Ling the decisive clearance. Rudy Gilham showing Markets a clean pair of heels. Handball's a beautiful one to Lockley. Oh, the tackling is fierce. Bennett has been rewarded. He doesn't take the free kick. It's with Markets in the back against Danny Ling. Darren Pritchard on the half forward now for Chris Fagan. Just keeps it inside. No, he doesn't.
Of the two sides, I believe that Glenorchy has settled down slightly to the better, and Sandy Bay seem to be rushing a bit at the ball.
Throw in 1-1-7, the Magpies. The Bay yet to score. There's Fagan. Quick kick from him. Johnson can't get them from there. Chance now for Dolliver. Snap, acute angle. The boundary umpire does his work though on the full. And so the kicking to be taken by Tovey. So Tim Tovey from that back pocket position goes around the tiered side. Bill Dunne's the target. Bounce of the ball unkind. Martin to McDonald. Well, gives it virtually to Bowden. Bowden nowhere to go. The boundary umpire to do his work again.
Half forward flank for Sandy Bay. Down by 7 points. We've played 4.5 minutes first term. Stephen Hay doing well in the ruck early. Mansfield didn't really attack that. Now he's in there to knock Martin down.
Very unlucky not to get a free kick there, Tony Martin, because I believe the Glenorchy player was fair square in the middle of his back.
Filling out process in these early moments of the grand final. Hay, beautiful tap to Lockley. Smothered well by Pritchard. Malcolm just a little unsure in his handling there. Smythe and Mansfield do a tumble.
Umpire Nielsen to do the bouncing. Pretty quiet opening really for the first couple of minutes of this game. Chance for Pritchard. He hasn't been quiet. Quick kick. The speedsters now. Dolliver in front. Oh, good shepherding then by Crow. But Dolliver couldn't get there before the boundary line, so we'll see another throw in. Very scrambly opening by both teams. 1-1-7 the Magpies still. Seddon does it by himself. Hay, good tackle then by number 4 for the Bay. That's Dolliver. He just gives the ball once again to the umpire.
Right on the 40-metre line. The blue and white corresponding with Sandy Bay going to the domain end of the first term. Coleman's tap, a good one to Ling. Grace looks up, spots and finds Lockley. Grace keeps going. Right down the corridor he goes, around Martin. He's got the speed, and the pass is a beauty to Linton. Burns trying to upset him, but Linton plays on quickly. Pearce or Lovell. Bennett, a huge thump from the William Leach medalist. Burns clears to the centre. Now the grand final's away. Flowing football, it's with Maxwell, who slows things up a little bit on the Ryde Street wing.
First bit of system to date as Maxwell goes to centre half forward. The leaper, Robbie Dykes. Perhaps his last grand final. And fine mark, Robbie Dykes. Smart, you're going to give away 15 in a minute. Dykes on that 40-metre mark at centre half back, goes to the tiered side. Tovey against Francis. Clever play, Tim Tovey. Player in front's going to be Parsons. Whoa, as the song goes, communication breakdown, and that let Pearce in. Pass should have been taken. Klug threads it inboard. Well, Bowden off the ground. Miraculous goal. Well, at this early stage, goal of the day.
They'll take a very good goal to beat that one from Michael Bowden. Ever the opportunities, number 32 pictured on the screen there. The ball taken well by Tim Tovey on the wing. Kicking toward Bennett and Parsons. That collision could have been avoided by talking. Pearce to Lovell. Lovell misses an easy mark. John Klug with a good handball to the open spaces, and Michael Bowden, in soccer-like fashion, scores the Magpies' second goal.
Very reminiscent of that Carlton goal in the second semi-final.
Certainly was.
So the vice-captain for the Magpies makes his mark early. His team are 13 up. Sandy Bay yet to score. Bennett's into the ruck. Coleman at half-back. Good desperation there from Dolliver. Maxwell. Johnston. At the lead on Dykes. Robbie Johnston certainly a sure pair of hands, and his kicking has looked better over the last few weeks. So a little bit on at centre half forward. In fact, it's more than a little bit now, as Johnston's concentrating on the kick. They're all into it. Gilham comes in and steamrolls Seddon, who was trying to break the tackle.
I think there were a lot of haymakers thrown in, and there weren't many connectors, just frustrations, because both sides have really failed to come to grips with the pressure of this grand final.
Johnston, I wonder if he cribbed a few metres while all that was going on. He looks a little bit closer than where he was lining up before. Certainly a long distance between he and the man on the mark, who is a good 5 metres the other side of the blue line, which is 40 metres out. Breeze takes it even further away. First score for the Seagulls. 2 goals the difference. We've played 9 minutes.
There's the man that just kicked the Sandy Bay first score, Robbie Johnson, against Robbie Dykes. The short pass, though, back at the game to Grace. He's got a ton of speed, has Stephen Grace. Kicks it up to Dykes. Punched away. Here goes Martin to McDonald. Who didn't have a look then, Ambrose. Comes back onto it to mop up well. Well, he kept that ball in tremendously well. Over to Fagan. The Bay starting to create the loose man. Maxwell to Bennett. He's going to be caught. He is. Here comes Smythe. Gets a high tackle. Free kick, Chris Smythe. Smythe 50 metres out. He's going to kick long. Francis is down there in the goal mouth for the Bay. He's behind. Here comes Fagan looking for the crumbs. Crow tackling very good by the Magpies. A lot of strength by Linton. Holding the ball, the crowd yelled, but he didn't have much of a chance to get rid of that.
The way that ball went into the Sandy Bay forward line will have to be changed, because they can't afford to kick the ball high. It's got to be into the open spaces.
Good chance for the first Seagull goal. Curley knocks down there. McCann can't find the boundary. So Martin, a slippery patch over there. Perhaps the sun and wind not able to get there and dry things up. Hay has done well in the ruck so far. Maxwell's wrapped up by Klug. Bounce about 38 metres out from Sandy Bay goal. Light misty rain for a second. Bit of Scottish mizzle, but now the sun's out.
Well, you know who's been overseas. This match, though, right here at league headquarters. There goes Linton. Chance for Smythe. Quick snap. It's out on the full.
Hasn't taken Glenorchy long to throw John Klug onto the ball. Started off on the full forward line, is now as a ruck rover.
So McCann's to wait for the ball to be relayed back to him. Tied up against that point post down at the Sandy Bay forward line. Big kick. Player in front, Seddon. Crumbs to Bowden. Dermody and Ling 2 out. Oh, Gilham acrobatic. Can't take the mark. Well, threw the haymaker well and missed with that as well. Ling. Marget's following up. Good play from Marget. Straight down to centre half forward. Dolliver's the target. Coleman in front can't mark. Mops up well. Here goes Smythe trying to get through. Again, good tackling by the Magpies. Umpire Dawson, no other option really but to put the whistle to his mouth.
Gee, if any player gets a second, they're going to be lucky here today to make up their mind and then follow it through with it.
And I think also, Peter, that there isn't the confidence in the running players there to receive that handball or kick.
Hay dominating in the ruck. Martin, plenty of time and being told by Bennett what to do. Francis. The two wrapped up elbows there. Francis, though, with the ball and 40 metres out. A 50-degree angle for Michael Francis. Again, the Breeze taking it across. Glenorchy mark almost down there for McCann. It's wrestled over the line. Dykes and Dolliver. Difference is 11 points. Roland Curley to put it back into play.
Roland Curley's been given the job on Robbie Johnson, different to Robbie Dykes a few weeks back. Curley is a better defender than what Dykes is.
Out to the back line to Coleman. Punched away from him. Grace again has been everywhere, hasn't he, Stephen Grace, as he just escorted the ball over the line.
Just shows what a running player can do.
The ruckman, Hay, Crow did the ruck work from behind for Sandy Bay. David and Goliath effort there, but the man in front was Chris Smythe. He's got a marvellous opportunity to bring the 6 points up for Sandy Bay. They haven't found the big opening yet, as the Magpies are 11 points clear at the 13-minute mark. Chris Smythe had a brilliant year. No doubt he'll be hoping he'd have a brilliant day today. Kick from Smythe, covering plenty of distance. The flyer was Francis. Couldn't get up high enough. Another minor score, 3 minors to 2-1.
14 minutes gone, 10 points the difference. This player's a little too close to Roland Curley. Position for the torpedo punt, and delivers it almost to the Ryde Street wing. Better judgment from Lockley. Being conspicuous early. Squares it for Klug. John Klug always had that run. Thought about going one way, went the other. They're a wake up down ground though. The kick just a little long for Balcombe. Shepherd's off for Bill Dunne, and again. Dunne out in front of him. Oh, he's trying to do too much, Bill Dunne, but he's got the free. He loves it tough, and he really put himself in the position there as it's back on just a little bit to the left of Bill Dunne. In comes Gilham, just a touch late. And McDonald now, and well, that could be anybody.
This could be Sandy Bay's undoing. If they fall for this rough stuff, Glenorchy will more than match them and they could lose concentration.
Well, there's a 15-metre penalty. So Bill Dunne now only 20 metres out from goal, and there's been a report up by Gary Dawson just putting the book away. Well, I can only presume it was a Sandy Bay player, seeing as there's a 15-metre penalty being added. And you don't give Bill Dunne those sort of opportunities. Third major, they've all gone to Glenorchy so far, 16 gone, and the leader's 16 points.
Really, that was an unnecessary free kick, 15 metres to Bill Dunne. Great mark by John Klug over the top of Michael Seddon. Flanks the ball wide. Out towards Bill Dunne, and here we see where Bill Dunne receives a tackle, quite legitimate. Ambrose McDonald coming in, the elbow raised. Bill Dunne will have a sore ear tonight. Peter Crow it was.
Here goes McDonald. And ball out to Maxwell. He's been a big kick gatherer for the Bay in the early stages. Not a good deliverer then though. Curley in front, and the Magpies really have it to themselves in the opening minutes of play. Roland Curley. We've seen a lot of TFL football. We've seen a rugged beginning. Kick, Bill Dunne the fly. Advantage rule, is it going to be played? It's not. Bowden was put to trot, so to speak. But the umpire pulled him up and said give the ball back to number 23. Kick from Dunne to centre half forward. Player in front was Margits. Parsons over the back to Seddon. Seddon wants to play on, just gets the handball to Spalding. They're getting themselves into trouble over Bay. Pearce cleverly to Ling. Ling has time to have a look upfield. He's kicking towards Lovell. Oh, good mark, Andy Lovell. He doesn't want to dwell on it, plays on. In the Gilham direction, big pack of players. And to Martin. Threading his way through to McDonald. Ball just squirts to centre half back to Pritchard. Pritchard angling it to Dolliver. Well, great mark, Ricky Dolliver. Had to do the hard work, and he gets the 15-metre penalty.
Well, if you're going to pull out an Academy Award performance, it might as well be on grand final day. Dolliver looking to cap it off with a long goal. Tries a little hard, but finds touch. So a throw in forward pocket for Sandy Bay. They want a goal.
Yes, they're really struggling. A goal will do them the world of good, and it's strange to see an experienced player like Ricky Dolliver kick such a poor kick.
Webster, number 19 on for the first time in season 86 in senior football. Knocks the ball over the boundary line. Balcom's the man that's gone off. Though perhaps it won't be long before he's back on again. Dolliver over the top. Seddon comes through, number 17. McCann, number 41. Back to Seddon. Dodges one, another. Won't score. It's out on the full again.
That pocket's a very difficult pocket to score goals from, Jim.
Especially with the wind the way it's blowing. Royce, very difficult indeed. And the Bay, I think, should learn from their mistakes. As Linton's just showing the ball to Ricky Dolliver, saying, I'm just about to have a kick of it. You are not. Handballed instead to Curley. Curley goes straight down the wing. Big fist from Bennett. He's done that a lot of times today. There's coach Tim Woodham, or coach on the bench, assistant coach, of course, to Danny Ling, just passing out the orders. Chance for Francis, across to Dermody. Dermody straight down the centre. Man in front, Seddon. He's been prominent early. And really, hasn't he come into form at the right end of the season, Royce?
Yes, about the Bay's best player in the finals.
To the half-forward flank. It's all the Magpies, flock of them down there. Mansfield to Tovey. He's just about to be tackled and well by Pritchard. Allowed Francis to do the tough stuff. Tried to barge through, but Balcom, he was the one that had the to-do with Ross Burns, I think, at the other end of the ground moments ago. Gives it to Hayden Nielsen.
So Glenorchy working the bench pretty early. Fagan. Oh, got rid of it quickly. Linton there for the Magpies. Gilham knocks on for Bowden. Klug just have Burns for another jumper. 40 metres out from the Magpie goal. They're going to the black and white lined end. Bennett. Spalding getting good shepherding from Bennett. And picks out Tim Maxwell.
They've got to make more use of the ball, Sandy Bay. They tend to kick the ball high to their forwards and they're having trouble taking it overhead.
Smythe the target here. Oh, he and Seddon not showing much understanding. Lockley's caught when he hasn't got it. Still keeps battling though, Lyndon Lockley, number 35, does that well. Good support from Mansfield. Pearce has the break on Parsons. Ball beats him. Midway between wing and half forward for the Magpies. They lead by 16 points, 21 minutes into the first quarter.
To see Bennett in the screen against Linton. Bennett does it well. Out to Fagan. Free kick picked out though. It's to go to Gary Linton. What may be his last game in TFL football. He's going to make it a good one. Plays on. Kick, an awkward looking one. Parsons in front. Nearly paid the mark. Klug threaded it to Gilham. Big tackle. Out to Burns. Across to Fagan. Fagan relieves the pressure to the centre of the ground, but it's all Magpies again. Gary Linton on the left boots. Short kick. Ambrose McDonald.
Oh, very late whistle.
Played onto the centre. Oh, Bill Dunne heard the train coming. And courageous mark then to just stand your ground and wait for the punishment.
The Maxwell Express doesn't affect him. Oh, Dermody ducking underneath it allows Bowden for number 2. Won't come back enough.
That's the passage of play there is the problem that Sandy Bay are going to confront with Roland Curley running from that back line down the half-forward flank, giving the forwards an extra man.
Bennett took one step. One more and it would have been play on. None of them touch it. Francis thumps it 30 metres down ground. Lockley will be the closest to it, but the boundary even closer. It's really packed over there on the Ride Street side of the ground. Only vantage point being taken advantage of. Big crowd. So far it's got everything. Ricochets off to the Magpies though, and it's done. Up to half forward. Pearce waits back and then flies over the top. Klug! Unbelievable mark from John Klug. Came from absolutely nowhere.
We talk about the goal of the day before here, John Klug. There won't be a better mark taken than that. Magnificent effort there by John Klug.
Can he cap it off? 35 metres, the distance in front of him, a 45-degree angle. The perfect piece of play from John Klug of Glenorchy. Their fourth goal and they're 23 points up, 2 minutes away from time on.
This is John Klug with a run-up. Bill Dunne, who's been prominent early, kicking the ball long. And Klug with the perfect run-up. Uses the back of his Sandy Bay opponent. Right over the top, eyes on the ball. And brings down a fine chest mark.
You won't see many better marks than that, as Roy said. Superb mark by number 27 for the Magpies, John Klug. Danny Ling, the solo effort this time. The Magpies on fire. And there they call him in the Magpie land, Black Magic. He led very well indeed, then did David Pearce. The 1986 Lafroy medalist lines up for what could be his first. Look at that lead. He's got yards on his opponent. And the ball hits him on the button. The kick from Pearce, not as good as the lead. Alana score. The Magpies 4-3, the Bay 3 behinds.
That effort from John Klug obviously lifted the teammates because they won the ball out of the centre well.
Bennett on the half volley to Seddon. McDonald. Oh, the one Magpie beats them, Robbie Dykes. Does it well and keeps going. Two experienced men there, Linton on for Gilham. Klug had plenty of space there. Interception from Spalding, but too many Magpies. Lockley's forced his way down onto half forward. He doesn't give up easily, Lyndon Lockley. Margats wraps him up. Gilham's handball straight to Parsons, and his kick finds Maxwell. Oh, there's plenty of room here for Fagan if he can find the handle. 30 metres of greenery in front of him. Goes the kick instead. Outnumbered down there, Smythe, and it's Roland Curley's mark.
Sandy Bay forwards never led.
Good mark from the man in front as he kicks long to Hay. It's the loping Stephen Hay. Gets to the ball. Ball. Big one, about 30 metres to Linton. High tackles from McDonald. About as subtle as a bull in a china shop. Umpire saw that one. Across to Grace. His handball comes to Maxwell. Ian Seddon can raffle the Bay's best player. Maxwell nowhere to go. Could have gone a lot better places than that though. Straight to Linton. Linton's kick, not a good one either. The marker under the footy is Tony Martin. Won't give it away, Tony Martin. Gilham with the hands up.
Sandy Bay at the moment, Jim, desperate to do anything to try and get some meterage.
If I was them though, Pete, I'd be just playing football and forgetting about the rough stuff, forgetting about the man, and just getting their mind back on the game.
Parsons.
That's what Parsons done.
Throw, told to go past by Dolliver. The thinking was right, the execution not quite there.
That passage of play just shows what grand final nerves are.
This bounce about 50 metres from the Sandy Bay goal. They haven't found the opening in the first term. Good shepherding from Dykes to allow Tovey to go for Gilham, who has the sit and the mark. There's the lead from Dunne. He has to prop. Good mark, Ross Burns. Not a good pass from Gilham. Dunne had a good 5 or 6 metre break. Pass was too high. Plenty of Sandy Bay players on their own. Fagan should go on to Margats. Seddon shepherds off for Colin Margats. Again he goes high. Smythe outmarked by Coleman.
Playing into Glenorchy's hands, kicking the ball into the forward line. Not that doing Coleman. Not recognised for being over quick. It's a very good mark overhead.
Here goes Coleman. Kick not a good one either. Mansfield nearly made it look good. Pritchard though really seized on that opportunity, and a good pass to Francis. The Bay are looking for a big one from Michael Francis. He's got a golden opportunity to give them the first goal of the day. 35 metres out, Michael Francis kicks for goal. Another minor score. He's telling the goal umpire that he thought it was the different result, but you can't argue against the man in white. 4-3 to 4 behinds.
Ling has a 10-metre break on Maxwell. Good pass from Curley. Pritchard. What a goal before siren time, the Seagulls. Bennett. Not much moving for him, so again he has to kick high, hope for a big grab. Look at all those Magpie players back there. Coleman with the last touch of the first term, and what a good one for the Black and Whites. They lead by 23 points. 23-point lead for perhaps the underdogs in this grand final. Glenorchy. Sandy Bay coming into the game with a 13-game winning run, but 23 points down at the start of the second quarter. Glenorchy going from right to left. Umpire Dawson to start the second term. Hay continues where he left off, but straight to Maxwell, tackled by Ling. But there's Francis for the Seagulls. Driving there by Dolliver. Equal sure with hands is Grace. Tap on by Dermody. Nichols is on for Sandy Bay. Johnston running onto it. Smythe has it taken away by McCann. Not a good bounce from Mansfield. Maxwell looked up before he had the ball. Glenorchy through Mansfield. Clever little kick through there for Bowden. McDonald straight into his back. And that's crazy.
Don't be things like that lose grand finals.
He's given away about 4 or 5 free kicks already. Ambrose McDonald is Bowden up to half forward. All Sandy Bay, Andy Bennett.
He's looking for a new avenue. He's found one in Keating doing the running up the back pocket. Out to the wing position. Player in front was Bowden. Ling gets the crumbs again. Goes to the leading Klug. Klug out in front, takes the mark. Well, he's on that 40-metre mark. You can see it festooned with blue and white colours. But a man in the black and white colours is just about to line up for what could be the Magpies' number 5. Been everywhere, John Klug in the first quarter. Kick goes through for the minor score. So the Magpies go to 4-4. The Bay 4 solitary behinds at the 2-minute mark of the second quarter.
There's a marked difference the way that Glenorchy are going into attack in contrast to Sandy Bay, and they're looking for their forwards.
Two Sandy Bay players there. Burns, the front man, allowed to go for it by 7. Francis has come down with it. Nichols knocks on. Now Martin. Desperation from Martin, but Lockley for the Magpies. For Rudy Gilham. Big break on Burns. Squares the ball. Bowden is 32. The vice-captain doing it well. Grace running off the back line. Chips the pass to a nest of Magpies. Tovey talking to Dunne. Hay, look at the space he's got. And from 35 metres, Stephen Hay will line up for the Magpies' 5th. A revitalised player is Stephen Hay since crossing from Hobart mid-season. Certainly made his mark on the grand final in his ruck play so far, but offline there. 2 behind so far in the quarter to Glenorchy. They have stretched their lead to 25 points.
It's going to be a difficult lead and a pressure game to peg back 25 points. And as you mentioned, Pearce, Steve Hayes had a great start to this game.
Ambrose McDonald coming up for a breather. Player to take his place, Johnny Mundy, as Margits kicks in long. Martin, the crumbs, quick handball. Out to Keating. Maxwell, trouble controlling it, gets away well though. Back to Keating. Along to Nichols, he's the interchange player on after quarter time. Long kick to Johnson. Dykes over the back. Chance for Johnson and Coleman. Coleman with desperation does it well.
Robbie Johnson very unfortunate not to get a free kick there, because Robbie Johnson certainly interfered with him.
Well, Dean Coleman wasn't going to let that go, was he? He was as solid as Fort Knox. bounce. Francis doing it by himself. What's the umpire doing? Umpire Nielsen says he'll bounce. That's what he'll do in the forward pocket. Big chance for a bay score here. The Magpies once again look for safety. That was Curley, and the safety was in the form of the boundary line.
It's 20 metres around from the goal. Sandy Bay are attacking. Nowhere for Fagan to go. A pat from Stephen Hay. So the third bounce in a minute.
Look at the crowd of players on the Sandy Bay forward line.
They're hoping it's just going to fall to one of them, and he'll have enough time to get a shot at goal as Smythe gets it down there. No time at all as it's taken away by Balcombe. Touched off the boot, so it's not out on the full.
Got to be a lucky man to kick goals with a forward line like that, Royce.
Yeah, but I'm pleased to see they brought Trent Nichols on, because he's one player that can break the packs with his pace.
Smythe doing the ruck work against Coleman. Coleman wins out easily to Dunne. Dunne squirts it out to a player in Coleman who went to help his teammate. And Nielsen again doing plenty of work. And the men in white have done enough today. Been a lot of bounces and a lot of boundary throw-ins. Out to Martin. Martin trying to break the goal drought. Down long. Johnson, one-hander. Oh, what a mark, Robbie Johnson. 11 metres out from goal. And have a look at this again. If one hand's being held, all you can do is put the other one out. And that's what Robbie Johnson did to take that. "12 metres out. Robbie Johnson to get into the goal-kicking books. He is first and the Bay's first. 1-4-10 Sandy Bay, 4-5-29 the Magpies.
Sandy Bay won't kick a more important goal on this all day. Their first goal, as they were struggling in that first quarter. And here Robbie Johnson, great judgment, great use of the body, puts Dykes out of business.
19 points the difference. The sun almost nullifying the lights on the scoreboard. Great to see it. The crowd really involved now. Another Bay goal. And things would be deafening here. It's loud enough already at North Hobart. Bennett from the centre. Prevented from going forward by Linton. McCann. Tovey's his target, just a little long. Mundy. He's sparked on the touch too. So the two interchange players, Mundy and Nichols, coming into play for Sandy Bay as Bennett wins again. Nichols is 32. Numbers went out. The 24s clash. Martin, a good tackle on Linton. Seddon has got 4 to beat. Played 7 minutes into the second term. 19-point lead for Glenorchy.
The Bay trying again through Fagan, but the Magpies too good. Gilham at centre-half forward, been a good contributor. Johnny Mundy just on for Sandy Bay. Oh, high tackle, Rudy Gilham. Advantage played to Fagan. Fagan to Smythe. Smythe in the middle. You don't mark them from there. Here goes Nichols. Nichols from the 45-metre mark. The minor score. 1-5 to 4-5. Bay starting to get on the right tram, I think, Royce.
Yes, they are, and as I mentioned before, Trent Nichols is going to be an asset around those packs, and he picked up the loose ball that had been picked up by Glenorchy players in the first quarter.
Crowd starting to get behind the Seagulls. Curley, one of the coolest customers out there, finds the centre square. Balcombe tries to knock away from Smythe. Good vision there from Balcombe to see Linton and find him. Tovey gets a pretty cruel bounce. Does it well though. Tovey on half forward. Passes for Pearce. Mundy, beautiful interception. And back in there to tackle. Bennett. Back up from Margats. Not sure who that was to. Perhaps the Glenorchy trainer there who hands it to the boundary umpire.
Bennett to do the ruck work. Can't do it well though. Tovey does it. Here comes Seddon. Bill Dunne takes it off him. Looks upfield and kicks long. Well, only man at home should have marked it, Wayne Keating. But let it go through for the minor score. I don't think it was by choice, though. The Magpies go to 4-6, and they're doing it well. Kick from Keating, looking for Seddon. Player over the back's Bowden. Oh no, that's Tovey. He's come into it, doing it bootless. Big mark, David Pearce over the back of Parsons. 1986 Lafroy medalist. Will line up 30 metres from goal.
Typical David Pearce mark there, right over the top, but the ball was put to good use to give him that running.
Normally kicks them from here too, does David Pearce. Missed one early from about this distance. We'll see what he does with this. Looks okay from here. The Magpies storm to 5-6 to the Bay 1-5.
It's early days yet, but the Magpies look a far better side. And there we see the ball from Tim Tovey squared to the centre position, something that Sandy Bay are not doing. Good hands there by David Pearce.
Customary water bottle handed out to the successful player.
Become part and parcel of football these days.
Bennett, nice tap down to Fagan. Ruckman and Rover working well together. Dolliver. Curly. Not only looks cool, is cool. Martin can pick up one-handed. Tovey has heaps of support. Look at the black and whites there. Klug. Straight to a nest of seagulls. Mundy. Backwards, but plenty of open space and good holding off there by Spalding. To Pritchard, a poor kick. Fagan's got time and space. He's got two shepherders. Nice work there from Maxwell. Fagan squares for Johnston. Well, they made hard work of it.
He made hard work of it, Peter, but it was better than kicking it blindly to the goal square.
Johnston from 35 metres directly in front. The breeze going from right to left across that main grandstand goal. Starts it out far too right, and Floyd having to do plenty of work in his last game. It's 1-2, the personal tally for Robbie Johnston, out of Sandy Bay's 1-6, Glenorchy 5-6.
Big kick from Curley. Favours Grace. Well, good smother, Tony Martin, to Fagan. Out in the Seddon Lockley direction. Well, Dermody's being held. Good shot of it then on the camera. Chance for Seddon, just keeping it in. The white line must be close. Smythe. Klug's in there for the Magpies. So too Martin. Puts it on the left boot. But Coleman in the way for Glenorchy. Dean Coleman on half-back flank. Goes long. Bennett and Hay, the two ruckmen. The fist of Bennett greets the ball first. Tovey picks up well. Goes to the leading Pearce. Too high for him. Marget's over the back. Closes the door on that forward thrust. Here comes Parsons. He's going to be tackled. Or tackled high. Lyon's the call. Advantage paid to Maxwell. Maxwell kicks long but not well. And Bowden and Dykes perhaps were chatting but not well enough. And dropped what should have been a mark to allow the ball to go over the line. And Tim Woodham, there he is, likes using his voice, and he's using it plenty of times today. Have a look at that crowd though.
Section of the 16,000, 17,000 strong crowd here at league headquarters, loving every second of it. Mansfield and Nichols.
Two of the youngest players on the field. These have got bright futures, both Mansfield and Nichols.
Balcom, good shepherd to allow Mansfield to put it for Gilham. Burns the fist. Bounces a good one for Lockley. Through to Bowden from 40 metres. Just the wrong side. 5-7-37 Glenorchy. Sandy Bay 1-6-12. That at the 13-minute mark of the second term.
Parsons to do the kicking. Bennett all by himself. Second coach for Sandy Bay, Andy Bennett.
Even got blue and white shin guards.
Wanting to pull, no doubt, a couple of rabbits out of the box or out of the hat. Oh, Maxwell, you're going to be reported if you don't watch yourself. Danny Ling's got the footy and kicks well to John Klug, who's left all alone. And Pardonable mistake to leave this fellow alone. Bounces once, kicks long for goal. What a kick, John Klug. The Magpies go to 6-7.
John Klug is cutting Sandy Bay to pieces. I can't understand the Sandy Bay defenders letting him have so much latitude. It's not that he's dominated with good contesting, he's been left on his own. And here, Danny Ling's allowed to deliver the ball properly to the forward line. John Klug's opponent is a good 10 metres behind, runs off under no pressure whatsoever. From outside the 40-metre line, makes no mistake.
It was as if Andy Bennett expected him to run automatically onto his right boot and ran the opposite way to where Klug was going. Curley's fist. Nichols. He'll want to swing onto the left boot. If he gets the ball, the pressure was from Mansfield. Illegal, says the umpire. That's what the crowd are roaring about. Seddon. Snapped. Wrong side.
Fight not worth watching.
No. Mansfield and Martin have had their difference, well, cleared up by the umpires, and Hayden Nielsen's getting out his book. So the second report, umpire Dawson putting, we think, Ambrose McDonald's name down in the first term. Not sure which one of the protagonists going in for that little altercation. McCann almost finds Curley. Gilham came through. Plenty of Magpie forwards on the back line. The free kick goes to Rudy Gilham. 30 points the difference. 6-7, 43. Glenorchy, Sandy Bay, 1-7-13.
Gilham's kick, a good one to Hay. And Stephen Hay, hasn't he been a new player since coming to the Magpies? All alone's Bowden. He's got to mark it the hard way, but makes it look easy.
Well, we picked him up from up here, Jim. Why didn't some Sandy Bay players pick him up? He ran all the way from the wing on his own.
I think they've got to get back to basics, the Bay, haven't they? Pick up a man and follow him around to get back into this game. They're not doing it as Bowden kicks into that forward pocket position. Nearly a Magpie mark. Parsons in front, puts it off the table. Quick hands then, but intercepted by Tovey. Can it be number 7? Answer of that's no. But it makes them 6-8, 44. Glenorchy, Sandy Bay, 1-7-13. This final slowly slipping away from them at the 16-minute mark of the second quarter.
What Glenorchy are doing that Sandy Bay are not, though, willing to take the punt and run down into that forward line, right from the back line, and this is what Sandy Bay will have to start doing.
Margits picks out Bowden beautifully. Gets some shepherding from Mansfield, wheels onto the right, then the left. Margits gets it, just. Close to half volley. Must have hit the fingernails underneath that catch. Pritchard. Seddon, the marker he wants. He got hands to it. Mundy. Fagan with Linton. Linton wins out. Curley underneath the Seddon kick. Bounces better for Maxwell. Lockley. Magpie fans right behind their team, and they're giving them everything. They lead by 31 points. We've played 17 minutes of the second quarter.
Hay over the back. Francis grabs what Hay tried to take. And Hay wins the wrestle in the end. We'll give the ball back to umpire Dawson. Haven't seen Gary Dawson doing much bouncing. Have a look at this one.
That's why.
Probably why. Big punch from Dermody to centre half forward. Well, Dolliver's held, hasn't got the football. And really you don't do that about 2 metres away from the umpire. Smokey saw it, and Dolliver's a chance to get into the goal kicking list himself. About 35 to 40 metres out is Ricky Dolliver. He's well within scoring distance. And don't the Bay need this one. Ricky Dolliver. There's the crowd having a chat to him as he goes in to kick for goal. Well, dissected those goals, did Ricky Dolliver. Superb shot. 2-7 to 6-8. The Bay have got a lot of that to do, though, before they can get back into this game.
I only hope for the Seagull supporters' sake that players take note of what Ricky Dolliver did here. playing the ball, was definitely held, but more importantly, when he took the kick, he was full of concentration and made sure that Sandy Bay got a 6-pointer.
Blue and white's trying to gee up some support there in the crowd. Smythe to Nichols, good talking and a good handball. The big left footer, Johnston. Oh, Dykes held his ground well there as Johnston came back on him.
A different Robbie Dykes this week, Peter.
Point lead for Glenorchy. Curley effortlessly bombs at 70 metres. Klug perhaps preventing Linton from marking there. We'll just go over it again. That won't happen a second time.
Klug to do the ruck work against Bennett and Gilham. Oh, quick hands then from Seddon out to Pritchard. Good play by the Bay ruck rover. Down to Smythe. The man in front wins out. Goes short. Well, Ricky Dolliver all alone. Make that Steve Maxwell. Tim Maxwell, third time lucky. They look a bit alike, those two, though, don't they?
Just a touch.
I'll make an excuse for myself. If nobody else will. As Maxwell's 35 metres out from goal. Last year's coach of the Blue and Whites kicks a point.
Again, they question the umpire's decision, but looked pretty true off the boot, but obviously just the wrong side of the goalpost.
2-9 to 6-8. The Bay still 21-44. That's 23 points the difference.
Curley perhaps finds an extra metre this time, but Sandy Bay Smythe doing well in the air. We'll think about playing on. Underground pass straight to Gary Linton.
The intention was right, but the execution was poor.
In fact, the last piece of execution onto the forward line has been poor from Sandy Bay in this term. Good tackle from Martin. Burns gets it to Fagan. Wasn't the required distance. No, touched off the hand, says umpire Nielsen. As Fagan perhaps a trifle miffed. Bennett down nicely for Nichols. Oh, spins beautifully onto the left. Johnston being held. Francis. Coleman looks for options. Linton, one of them.
Makes the difference between the two sides.
Grace. He has plenty of time as well. Needs it in the end. Hay. Big fella keeps his head well. Seddon back for Bennett. Has his handball intercepted momentarily. Pritchard underground. Nice little pass through to Nichols. He runs off as Maxwell goes for Pritchard. Can give it back. Too slow. Caught by Lockley. Should have got it moving quickly to Nichols. And it's cleared by the Magpie defence. And all of a sudden it's attack. Klug onto the chest of Pearce. Not quite. Lovell. Bowden. They're being forced back, the Magpies. It's back on the wing now. Fagan written down by Danny Ling.
Courageous bit of play then, Chris Fagan. It was collision quarters. He kept the eyes on the football. Handball to Spalding. Spalding a good pass to Martin. Well, and don't kicks make a difference, Royce. You saw Glenorchy then, a couple of big kicks. They were looking dangerous, and the Bay fiddled around. They're not now, though. Seddon's about to line up for goal. He's 40 metres out. The man in the way is Dykes. As they are in Holland, hold up everything. He goes to the half-back line. Here goes Dolliver. Quick handball to Smythe. Smythe's kick, well, 10 for effort, 1 for execution. Magpies take a charity one.
The Bay's use of the ball in general has been pathetic, and that example there by Chris Smythe, rather than trying to square up the ball, he tried to kick the insides out and consequently put it out of bounds.
44 plays 21. Dykes finds Linton, who's been left on his own. Quite a deal in this quarter. And he got a side of beef in the back there from John Mundy. Gary Linton playing his last game for Glenorchy.
Didn't look that bad on replay there, but it must have hurt Gary Linton.
It's an old injury aggravated as he hands off to Curley. Wobbles it to Dunne. Pearce, beautiful pickup. Knock on was clever play by Fagan, but Gilham takes advantage of it. Coleman doesn't get the distance he required with that kick. Bennett. He's been virtually on half back for the entire match when not in the ruck. Spaulding. Straight to Bowden. He'll play on. Told to by Dunne. Michael Bowden, number 2. Hit the post. Just wanted the leg break there. Went straight on. Glenorchy lead by 24 points.
They've travelled 1 point further too after that good, well, you can see a good mark there from Fagan. But they were 23 points up at quarter time, now 24 points up as Fagan kicks to the centre. The leapers, Francis. Francis wanting to get on with it as we're ticking into time on. 2-out battle, Johnson against Dykes. Johnson nearly the victim. Balcom, though, as always, he's there. He mops up well. Francis coming back well. Francis snap for goal from an acute angle over the line on the full. So the Bay's kicking has been deplorable, as Royce said. Plenty of shots for goal. A couple over the line on the full, a couple of behinds.
But Michael Francis in that case, Jim, had no option because there was no Sandy Bay player there.
A big one from Robbie Johnston, and he's been recorded.
Joe Button would have been proud of that.
Well, Sandy Bay will have a depleted lineup for the first game in the 87 season as McCann takes the mark.
Glenorchy 24 points up. For all their superiority, though, Royce, I think they wouldn't mind being a bit further in front.
No, Sandy Bay are still in touch, Peter. I wouldn't write them off just yet.
Maxwell taking the free kick. It's pretty obvious to everyone. We're into time on second quarter. Balcom will go with the fist, or almost marked. A lot of Magpies up there. Kick off the ground from Nichols to Smythe. Dykes wanting to do the umpiring. The umpire Nelson saying Johnson got over the top of your back to try and pick the ball up. Bounces just 12 metres out from the Sandy Bay goal. Hay straight down the throat of McCann. Make it look easy out of defence, the Magpies. They're falling down the centre of the ground at the moment. Maxwell. Bennett.
I think he's got to do a bit more of that, Andy Bennett. Come down and give an option on the forward line.
1986 William Leach medalist kicks forward and kicks badly. Dean Coleman in the way. Coleman, the long kick. Bennett again can fly. One should have been down. The two Baymen went. And the player with more pace is Rudy Gilham. Well, Rudy Gilham, stall gift winner. He drops the ball.
Oh, very hard.
Play on, says the umpire, to Dermody. Dermody now to Parsons. Parsons having a look upfield is kicking. Well, what a mark, Bill Dunne. I was about to talk about set, but Bill Dunne just flew across that pack to take a crack. Have a look at this.
It is magnificent. He was up too early, really, Bill Dunne. Twisted in the air and brought down a beauty.
We're seeing all the skills here in the grand final. Free kick back to Spaulding behind play after he knocked it away. It was still being held. There's 4 goals the difference. Glenorchy lead. Goals at a premium here. Parsons plenty of time to recover. Put it up for the high flying Johnston. Got hands. All the Rovers with the Magpies. Tovey. Caught by Dolliver. Throw in on half forward. Played 27 minutes. Sandy Bay would love a goal or 2 just prior to half time. Their opposites naturally wanting to prevent that. Hay really dominating in the ruck. Dunne feeds out for Curley. Lockley got a bad bounce. Pritchard. Maxwell playing very well, driving the Seagulls into attack relentlessly. Dunne almost the miraculous one-hander. Hits the ball anyway. Umpire Nielsen, the coolest in that situation, keeps an eye on it. Starts play off again.
Coleman, the only man waiting down was Seddon. Seddon's kicking into a 3-1 duel. 3 Magpies against 1 Seagull. And the Magpies one up then in the pecking order. Curley took the mark. Kicks long to Dunne. Dunne on centre wingers. There's the half-time siren. And really the first half controlled by the Magpies. The scoreline 6-9 to 2-9.
They should be further in front though.
Should be. They're still in touch, Sandy.